Yeah, I think the interesting thing is you've also got Delphas is government is more of a feudal type government with the Persian influence of culture.
Right.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Give me a second here. Come on, show me that's coming up. All right, that is up. And one more spot. I can go here. Listen to my wild children in the background. Go here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a thing. I had the grandkids over again today. They come over after school. So, and they don't have school tomorrow, so that's going to be a freaking hoot.
Yeah, my kids don't have school tomorrow either. And it's interesting because I also get a 3-day weekend.
Yeah,
but
I got Monday off.
Me too. So they get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, and I get Saturday, Sunday, Monday off.
Mm-hmm. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the monsters. and we got somewhere.
All right, it's behaving now. No, it was basically Streamlabs. Every once in a while, Streamlabs just takes a dump on me for some reason. And I'm still trying to figure out what actually causes it. It's got some kind of issue with the encoder that pops up from time to time, depending on what I'm streaming and depending on what I'm clicking on.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of times it tends to happen whenever I am going through Chrome or any of my browsers.
What the hell? I'm still stuck on the starting screen for your stream. Is that still good?
If you look in the chat on my stream, there's a link in the chat for the second stream.
Right. Which one? Which chat?
The actual chat on YouTube.
Oh, see, I wasn't doing that. Come on, really? Okay. I'm big dummy, apparently.
But I really like the whole French influence that we've got going in Delphos. Okay. It makes sense a lot to me because of the region and what would have happened after the fall of magic. As the world, kind of expanded, as different cultures moved around and whatnot, this area is just inundated with all the kinds of land and resources that people would be desperate to have. Because it's got the savannas, which is great for growing grain and for growing livestock. Then you've got your Catarine Plain, which is basically your floodplain, which is perfect for farming and growing food. And then you got the hills down to the southwest, down by Bell Hill, and the Blackley Hills, which is perfect for mining and getting the different metal resources and stone resources. So, this is a massive, massive region that is full of valuables. And people hear valuables. I'm going, no, I'm not talking gold and silver and
full of resources.
Gems. It's basic resources that it is just inundated with.
There we go. Now it's working. Okay. All right. So I think we've got 3 languages so far in LFS?
Yeah. The other one I was looking for was something that I want to use for an Elvish tongue.
Okay.
Now that's going to be taken straight from. I know it's got it in Wikipedia, but that's taken straight from Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, well, let's avoid that.
All right, so when we look at the map, let's come back over here. The elven countries that are left. And I'm going to point out a particular spot. So right here, Pistarla, they consider themselves to be the true elves. That's, and so I'm thinking of using some bastardization of that name for the ancient Elvish language. But I'm having a hard time coming up with a language off of that name.
Yeah, Kustar.
Okay.
That would probably be your easiest route.
That works.
But that's the nation name. But I know they consider themselves such and such. But I mean, were there any other elven nations of different names?
There were. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure I get all this in place. I don't want the chat to disappear if anybody watches this afterwards, so I'm saving the chat replay.
Yeah.
There we go. The thing is that those particular notes, those are in a notebook buried somewhere out on my privacy porch. So I do not have those readily handy. Because the Elven Nation basically went from Kiramist all the way down to Kalfir, but mostly into Melhorn, Delphos. I mean, this whole area here that's got Kalser, Melhorn, Delphos, it used to be all wooded. The whole reason that we don't have trees on the map anymore is because, well, in the name of progress, the humans chopped them all down. And so over time, forests have been depleted. But it also made it where now we've got better farmland and stuff, because by getting rid of the trees, then the floodplain no longer was swamp. Now it turned into alien.
It would be more like not well. You could say a lot of people say alien, yeah. But I was looking up the Nordic terms for elf.
Oh, okay, cool.
And what they call a Norse elf, first of all.
Well, and then there's also the she, which is the Celtic version.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to use the. Well, I mean the she. I mean SIDHE. That is that is the name of my ancient elves, as they're the she. That's who they were. Kind of like having, when they had their brief moment of their hatred of humans, and had the Gale She, which is known as the Hunt of the Elves, when they hunted humans.
Yeah, so the light elves in Norse mythology are Losifar, or I think it's pronounced how you pronounce that. I don't know. Losalfar, sorry. But I was trying to more come up with something from where they came from, which was Alfheimir.
Yeah. Or Alfheim.
Yeah, Alfheim. So if we went off of that, then, I mean, that could be a language name right there, Alfheim.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alfheim. Well, Alfheim translates into Elfland.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'd want to call that a language.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Actually, no, it makes sense because it's ancient.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't even know what the language was called.
No, I mean, but that's what it's being called now.
Right.
There we are. All right, that goes on the top of the list then. All right, so.
But that's ancient Elvish, and then the elves would have their languages would have developed as their different cultures separated, because there's just like how my elves are now, they've got different cultural beliefs, and their cultural beliefs are completely bent on how magic should be used.
Right. Okay. So ancient elven language.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking first age Elvish.
Of the first age.
Which would also have been early second age. You keep it up, I'm going to set your whiskers on fire.
Okay, there we go. Alfmir, or whatever, Alfheim. Ancient elven language of the first age, only seen on relics and ancient artifacts.
There you go.
That sounds good.
And then we could go with... I can't get that little apostrophe on there.
Which one was that?
I'm typing the accent on top of the A, but I'm going to give you...
Copy and paste the accent I have in the video chat. You put it in Discord chat? Or not?
No. I'm typing into the Discord chat over to you.
Okay.
Something like that for your second age language.
Yeah, we could do that. I think it'll work. Yeah, the Aelfinar. Yeah. Okay, so now I gotta bump that down.
Yeah, that would be your second age Elvish, your primary Elvish language, and then the language is split as their cultures separated.
What the fuck you just do with it, Scott? Oh, there it is. A E L F No, don't do that.
That reminds me, I gotta go back and edit a bunch of videos.
Come on, Scott. Language.
So Scott, just a thought that I needed to bring up. on the streaming side of things, where our players, we want to make sure that they try to limit their vulgarities.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know someone that just wasn't self-editing either, so that's another reason. I'm just gonna keep adding stuff buried in check boxes.
Well, it's not trying to add check boxes. It was one of those things of going, I never expected to have to go. Need you to watch your language, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that you can't swear, but
I think he was taking. Yeah, honestly, I don't think he was taking care to be respectful of anyone else, and that's one of the things that did bother me. He wasn't respectful of anyone else in the game.
So, chat, in case you are wondering, because I haven't brought this up, we've had to ask one of the players to no longer show up.
I didn't ask. I just voted it. I explained my reasons, and boink, he was gone.
Yeah, I know. She removed him from the Discord server and everything.
Yeah, I don't need him hanging around. He's just going to cuss and whine.
And talk about hockey.
No, yeah, that's it too. Yeah, he was a Canuck, by the way, so not that that's a bad thing, but he made it a bad thing. Because after all, he gave us Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Which, oh God.
Sorry, gotta have some fun.
I mean, geez, he gave a positive and then turned right around and just smacked him right in the face, didn't you?
Because they weren't looking.
and poor Bill, he's a Canadian.
Yeah, I don't think he liked the way I treated his coyote anyway. So, speaking of Bill.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm talking about my bill that I've got in chat.
Oh, yeah. Well. Big Bad Billy's Sweet William now. Line from one of the Van Halen songs.
Oh yeah. Since of all that happened from last game, can I get my sunglasses and tactical vests back?
Yeah.
Since obviously we're not going to need the gasoline.
No, and I'm not going to have to worry about building out Lebowski's place either.
Oh, I'm still going to go visit him. I like Lebowski.
Yeah, he's kind of cool.
I mean, I'm still planning on in my scavenging. I'm going to find a bowling ball. I'm going to bring it back to him. Just because that it makes me laugh inside. Yeah, I don't expect to get through all the languages tonight, but I want to get our local area taken care of.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a complicated area because, I go up into the northern region, into Basone, Ramiria, Islander, Boris Halon, Kiramis, Dalton. Those are actually easy for me to do the languages with.
Mm-hmm.
It's down here that it's more challenging because of the melting pot.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so let's save this real quick.
I got Falscardus basically just speaking Falscardian.
Well, it's probably the official national language, and anybody who's speaking it is a spy, or not speaking it is a spy.
Right.
I'm assuming they're running a very totalitarian government there.
Oh, absolutely. But
Gestapo-like secret police.
But secretly, because the way that it's set up is you've got 7 major families in Falscardus, and they're the council, and they do not practice blood magic. That's what they'll tell you.
No, of course, because we don't do that.
Even though Falscardian has demonic tongue mixed into it. They've been messing with demons for so long that the language of demons has entered into their modern day speech.
Can't spell the right council. I'm sorry, I started to spell it CONSEL. I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong one. Hands doing one thing, the brain's doing it, telling it to do another.
Right.
All right, so we got some stuff there.
I guess I'll probably lose a subscriber too since we booted him, because I'm sure he's going to go, well, I'm not going to watch that channel.
He may forget too. He doesn't seem to be the sharpest tool in the shed.
Brad, what's going on, buddy?
I'm sorry I talked bad about some of my players, but when they express how they surprise me at how dumb.
Speaking of people, Brad, I want to throw this out to you. We're looking for more players. We've got 2 separate games that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Streamlabs crashed Frostbite again, so I had to move over to a round 2. But Brad, we're looking for players to come and join the campaign. We've got we've got this Dungeon Fantasy game, but then we've also got our Mutants game that's in a post-apocalyptic world. It's a lot of fun. And it'd be awesome if you came and joined us.
Lots of interesting people there. And animals.
So I met Brad through a interesting way. I was actually in the midst of working on learning to paint miniatures and everything way back when. And Brad had a Twitch and YouTube channel that it is tonight. It's Thursday nights. Every other Thursday night. Matter of fact, you are looking at the map of the fantasy world right now. Now keep in mind, we are playing GURPS, so it's a game system that I don't think you've touched on a whole lot. But between myself and SavageGM, we've got everything you need.
Yeah, and we'll learn you.
And we'd love to have you.
Always love to bring new folks into the hobby if they aren't already there.
Well, it wouldn't be bringing him into the hobby. He's a hardcore role player, or was. He's also a chef, professionally. But the way I found him was because I was looking for things where people were painting miniatures and learning how to do some techniques and stuff. And he had this channel that I learned so many techniques and stuff, and I got to chatting with him and whatnot. And over time, he and I have become friends. And so now we play some video games together. We've done a few other things. It's really awesome. And I love hanging out with Brad. And he's an upstate New Yorker.
Nice.
Which means that Scott immediately goes, "Yep, no, he's out." So
at least he's not from Boston. I don't know if I can handle that.
So Brad, I'm going to end not upstate. Oh, I'm sorry, not upstate. He did all capital letters, not upstate.
Okay.
Oh, upstate's 3 hours south of him.
Okay, so what are they like by Erie or Buffalo?
Niagara?
Maybe he can go to Canada and smack somebody for us.
He's an almost Canuck.
The North Country.
I gotcha.
I think he is a Canuck.
Yeah, see, 30 miles from Canada.
Yeah.
So, Brad, because you're showing potential interest, I just sent you a invite over to SavageGM's Discord. This is where we actually run our voice channel for our tabletop games. Matter of fact, we're sitting here doing world building and everything. You are more than welcome to jump in and jump into voice with us.
Ask questions.
I welcome it.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes questions are the best inspirations for the next idea.
Yeah, come in here and give the GM's idea. Okay. All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, then, hopefully we'll see you here in a little bit. And, Eastern time, we start at 8 p.m., and then we run until about 11. So it's only about a 3-hour game session. We use Foundry for our, I say we use Foundry. We use Foundry powered by Forge. We use Forge for it because it's cloud-based. But Foundry is the tool that we use for running our tabletops. And honestly, we've been having a lot of fun with it. We've had some challenges with retaining players. And some of that's been because, poor Flaristic, he lives in Belgium. And he probably went, I can't do this anymore. I have to have sleep. It's like, understood. Because I meant that we were running until like 4 o'clock in the morning his time. And then we've had others that they've had some real life stuff come up that just made it where they wouldn't be able to join anymore. So, real life happens. So, but all right, cool. Well, Brad, hopefully you can join us here in a little bit. We should be talking here for the next 2.5 hours or so.
Yep.
And like I said, right now we're doing some world building, kind of fleshing out the world that I've already been building for a few decades. But y'all can already see that even though the world is fleshed out, it's got a history, it's got all kinds of stuff to it, and yet basic things like languages are things I didn't think about. Another thing I didn't think about when Scott and I were working on the map way back when. I didn't think about trade winds and placement. I had the equator running through a different area, made this world a whole lot bigger than it actually should have been, because it made it where, to travel from the north of Melhorm to the bottom of Melhorm would have taken you 3 months.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That's no longer a country, that's an empire.
Oh, yeah.
So we reduced the size, which also gives me more room to do some of my forgotten lands that I wanted to do in the storylines that are available to do in this world, which will be on separate continents. Let me bring in other interesting, odd, different races. So I'm looking forward to bringing in my turtles that. All practice very slow kung fu. I'm joking. Mm-hmm. It could have been worse. It could have been pandas.
Y'all haven't even met the panda yet in my game.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I have one somewhere.
So yeah. We are looking for players. So chat, if any of y'all are interested in joining voice and whatnot, Pandarians. Yeah, no, I'm not going to steal from WoW or Kung Fu Panda, because obviously WoW stole from Kung Fu Panda. They did. Kung Fu Panda came out. It got really popular and everything. And then all of a sudden, WoW came out with an expansion that brought in pandas that practice martial arts.
Yeah. I thought, apparently I haven't uploaded that guy yet. Huh. What do you know? Maybe it's this one.
Right.
Nope.
They did steal from Tekken. You're absolutely correct, Brad. And brew booze, yes.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, we could get deep into world building where we could even be talking about, what the countries import and export and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we're going to get into that tonight, but
yeah, we're not playing Age of Empires.
Right. But knowing some of the major things that they import and export helps to, it still helps even more so with that culture, because then you know what the value of different things are, because, a lot of times heroes, when they go out, they conquer a dungeon and everything, they wind up with stuff. Not coins, they wind up with stuff. And they got to figure out how they're going to haul it out of there, because stuff is heavy. Not that coins aren't, but stuff is bulky, it's, but then you're bringing back artifacts, you're bringing back various things. What's it's worth? And in one country, they could go, what? I got 20 of those. And in another country, they can go, oh my God, what is that? I've never seen anything like that before. And they're, and so you get a very big variance on value. Well, the best part is that the ones that have never seen it before, that's when you get your bard or your rogue that's got fast talk that can BS their way through telling them what it is or what they're going to claim that it is to get top dollar for, a water clock.
Yeah, I've already done a panda. There it is in Discord chat.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Can I? Oh, I can. I can go open in browser. There he is. There's the panda. Okay. Oh, I remember King. All right, so back to our figuring out things. And this is part of the reason we're staring at the world map, because we're looking at what the history of the area was, and most of that I've got in my head, or I've got notes that are in spiral notebooks. Mostly in my head because, well,
yeah,
that this world.
Who has time to write shit down?
Well, and this world was my passion. I mean, it is written down in some notebooks somewhere. Where those notebooks are, I have no freaking clue.
Yeah, it was like 5 moves ago.
Well, I mean, when I'm looking for stuff that I wrote, 2 decades ago, I don't even know if I still have those notebooks. And and right now, a lot of that's changed, anyways, because we altered the size of the world. We altered, we altered the temperature.
Well, we altered its latitude.
So
that's what we did.
We did, which I thought was the smartest thing we ever did, because it actually made it where all my countries made sense with how I actually had them written up.
Yep. Well, that's one of the things I looked at when I was redoing the map, or upgrading, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And that was one of the things, like, okay, this is not really making sense in some ways. And I thought maybe it has to do with the scale of things, and that's kind of what it was. It was really about scale.
Yeah. So, and this is one of those areas that it's nice to have an even more experienced GM than myself to help look at some of the world building and go, "You're doing this all wrong, kid."
Yeah, but I didn't do that. I'm nice.
Well, I mean, you're nice, because what you did was that you just redid the map and then sent it to me and went, "This is what it's supposed to look like." But I mean, we did. We had a long talk about how where the elevation and the latitude was. We talked about where the tropic line was going to be at, and so we actually put a tropic here, which is named after an ancient dragon. which kind of gives you the feel for the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then this area out here, this eastern area, I never truly fleshed out completely. And so a lot of it's going to change as far as what it looks like. It's not all going to be all this sandy desert looking stuff. Waste of Grandilar is probably going to shrink because right now it is still enormous. I think Scott and I looked at it. It's still bigger than the Sahara Desert.
It's huge. Shoot. Oh.
But
it's like 1,000 miles across or some shit.
yeah, but I mean, this area up here in this corner between the two mountain ranges, this is supposed to be more like Mongolia. Is the concept behind it? What their region is supposed to be like. And then again, it's all the thought about resources, who wants what, why are we going to war with each other? Because wars, a lot of people always go, wars are always political. Wars aren't always political. What scale are grid squares? I've got an easy answer for you on that one. The grid square is about 400 miles.
There is a scale. Also on the left-hand side, you'll also see the latitudes as well. They tell you how far north you are.
You wouldn't have put Dalthon west of Belarst. The reason Dalthon is west of Belarst, there's a huge storyline that goes on there. Belarst is Elven Kingdom, so is Safrain and Questarla. Dalthon is where an ancient battleground was. There was a lot that went on there. Got a lot of story that goes on with that. Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, the campaign currently is happening in Delphos. So that's more or less what we're focusing on. We're focusing on this region here for our languages and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we've gotten the language names down. Now we need the percentage on how much each one is spoken in Delphos.
Yeah. So, given that Alamir's they're speaking Vokrian, I would say probably about 15 to 20%.
Yep.
Well, the folks would be speaking that language because it's along that border.
Yep.
So if you go with 20%, that leaves 70% left speaking Melish.
All right, yeah, Melish. And then we need 10 to 15% speaking Remirian.
That's already in there. We figured 10%.
Okay. Hey, Dave, Ante.
Yeah.
And then 2%. Actually, make it 1%. False Guardian.
All right. That's 1% of the folks. Okay, so let's take.
And that doesn't mean that they only speak False Guardian. It just means that 1%. I don't want to go into percents. I don't want to go into going, 0.005 of the population speaks False Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
So 1% can speak False Guardian.
All right, let's say 1% are likely to be able to speak.
Right.
Yeah, because that's more of a statistical sample. And then, and if also Melish could also be if they're the national language or the official language of Delphos too.
Yes. Oh wait, how much Remirian did we put in there?
You put 10%.
10%.
Do you want more?
No, 10% is enough.
Okay, so we're looking at 70 for Melish, Remirian 10, Volcran 19, False Guardian 1% for a grand total of 100% of the population.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Let's speak it. Writing it may be a different answer.
Right. And but whether or not they can write it or not doesn't need to be a quotient on the stat block.
No, honestly, you could probably put a stat block on there. How many people are illiterate?
Right. And within Delphos, because Delphos actually relies on paper and whatnot to do announcements and stuff, but they also rely on your shouty man. What the hell is that guy called?
The Herald?
The Herald. So I would put the literacy in Delphos. Believe it or not, I'd put the literacy probably upwards of 70%.
I would probably go. I would say I would lowball it to like 60 or 65%.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Because there's a lot of folks that are in the rural areas, especially like the plains and
True.
all that stuff.
True.
Like, what the hell you need to be reading for, boy? Get back to work. So let's just call it an even 60%. All right. Where is that stupid stat block thing? I know where it is, but it's not there.
Now, because this is Delphos, I think I would like to have a piece of the stat block that actually gives a percentage of the people that are militarily trained.
Mm-hmm.
And because of their border down there, I would put their percentage of their population that's militarily trained to be no lower than 30%.
Okay. Well, here's something I built from the stats that you get out of the book City Stats. And so there's actually one I did for Black Raven, as a matter of fact.
All right.
Yeah, it's in DF text.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm already opened it up and got it up on the screen so the chat can see it.
Yeah. Now we can add to that. Per population percentages. So we just add a couple more lines there, and say, what do you call it? The percentage of adult males, military trained adult males, and that kind of thing. So we can do those kind of demographics.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. So I see you did it just for Black Raven, which gives the population of that. So we can do that same kind of stat block for the country as a whole, which will be a more of a general look at the population.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. So like military resources would be on there. So they're only falling in as accented in the literacy rate, but that's based on that book City Stats.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm familiar with that book. I've got that one. I haven't read through it thoroughly. I always meant to.
It's got some good ideas, especially when you're world building. Oh yeah, this is good stuff. I didn't think of that. So. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like the fact of the defense bonus and the military resources. I mean, the defense bonus, weirdly enough, their defense bonus should actually be pretty solid because of their border against Malskardis.
Probably, yeah. Where is that stupid book now? I just had it. Here we go. No, that's not it. Now. Let's close everything and start over. Open Sesame. I did have it open. Okay.
And honestly, with our loss of the other player, I wasn't even sure if I was going to run tonight, anyways. But then when Rob sent me the message, let me know he was feeling unwell, I was like, Yeah, so that means it's going to be me and Scott. So I think I'm going to just do and I debated on that too. I was like, okay, do I go and play a video game? And then I thought about the fact that you sent me a message about the languages. I was like, wait a minute. We can use tonight to do world building and let chat see some of the world building stuff and some of the conversation that goes on world building and how we try to develop things. So I thought, I thought that'd be a great thing for them to see some of the behind the scenes work that goes on for it. Hey, look at this, chat. We're doing this. This is just for one country.
Yeah, it actually could be boiled down to one city. We could spend a lot of time developing the one city.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what the city stats book is really about. But it can be scaled up for nations or kingdoms.
Well, I mean, I've done that. I've done that before I ever had the city book and taken a city and broken it down into its different sections and what the different populations were like. What their give me a second.
Yeah,
Hey, all right.
and that's something you can definitely do with on Scabbard if you have their city builder plugin. Then you can also break some of your locations down into neighborhoods or districts, boroughs, whatever you want to call it, and then even further into, this is on, Joe's Tavern is on in this borough or whatever. So that's really good stuff when you want to start putting things up.
Scabbard's an absolutely amazing tool.
Yeah, I used to be on Obsidian Portal, but there was so much work you had to do to develop anything and put it on there. So, but it's been a boon. I regularly contribute, so hopefully they'll come out with better stuff, that kind of thing. I'm also contributing to.
I used to regularly contribute when I had time.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, monetarily though, for like those guys that are developing the GURPS gaming aid and GCS. Yeah, sending them some monthlies.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Scabbard, I've got my big legendary thing that I pay $100 a year for, and then I've still got the $10 a month that I pay them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's worth it, I think, in the long run.
But, chat, just to be clear on this, you don't have to pay anything to Scabbard. If you're joining a campaign, the GM can give you the power player position, and you can create all your own connections and everything without having to pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he made the map with Incarnate. He actually took my hand-drawn map and turned it into a Incarnate map.
So what I did is I imported his hand-drawn map into Incarnate, and then placed it as a stamp on the layer 0, and then on layer 1 I started tracing and filling things in, putting in the borders and everything. No, it was on layer 0, and the original map was on layer 1. But the idea is that because it's transparent, mostly transparent, as I could see right through it and fill everything in. So that's kind of how I did it, and then that's when I also looked at scaling and stuff like that too. So
yeah, and then we had a long discussion on scaling and whatnot, and it was something I was trying to figure out anyways way back when, and it works out great. Now, when I pull up the Delphos map in Forge, it'll be the same as this map right here that we're looking at here on Scabbard. But Scott did the math and whatnot and made it where we could literally do a measurement across the map, and it is 100% accurate on the mileage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm big into accuracy. But yeah, the cool thing about that I also liked about Incarnate was that you could take a section of an existing map and then rescale it into another map, and that's what I've been doing with the regionals. Is take a region, okay, we're going to use this region here, make a copy of it, plop it into another Incarnate instance, and change the scaling on it so that way I can add in details. Instead of being, one grid square is 400 miles, one grid square is 40 miles, for example. And so that really aided in adding more granularity at the regional level. So,
let's see, defensive bonus.
So yeah, that's like one of the things out of the city stats book. It's actually a really short book. It's like 21 pages.
Yeah, I'm
It
just.
helps.
And I realize it deals with mass combat stuff, but in general, it's mass combat bonus. That's +5. That's +5.
Yeah.
Plus,
I think the cool thing,
tech
the
level.
cool thing about mass combat with GURPS is that your character doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote in the combat, but you can be a leader, and your troops are your pieces. You make some rolls based on that, and then when it comes to dramatic scenes, and like, okay, the enemy general, it's a one-on-one with you, and then you go to that tactical scene for that. So there's some ways to do that. It makes it a little more dramatic than, I've been at war for 15 years and everybody's dead, and no, we make it a little more dramatic than that.
Yeah, so looking at this, the defensive bonus would be a +13.
Really?
Well, plus tech level +4 for the permanent fortifications. We've got those. As of date, when last upgraded, and I'm looking at the southern line with Scarwood Citadel, Ackland Tower, Spellbound Spire, and Nolanor. I'm specifically looking at that southern border there. And then many stone or concrete structures. So we got lots of stone structures down there. So that's +5, and tech level +4 is 8. So 5 + 8 is a +13 on their defenses. Against.
See, it's not cumulative though.
Oh, okay.
See. So city's defense forces receive a defense bonus, blase blase.
It's a city's defense force, so trying to give it to a country.
Yeah. So the last paragraph there: select the highest relevant defense bonus from the first table below, then include one or more modifiers from the second table below. So your geographic modifiers are your next step.
Right, and that south line, they don't have hills or mountains, so.
No. But I would say that the one thing that is there is that a lot of that land that's on that border is barren, straight up barren.
Yep.
And so they could put entrenchments along there, as well as having clear lines of fire and pre-positioned stuff. Because that's what I would do. If I was expecting an attack, the first thing I would do is start clearing lines of fire, setting out range markers for my artillery. So that way, okay, the enemy's at such and such distance, they just passed the big tree. Okay, well then we'll set the catapult to this tension and launch it, and then that'll be right on.
Right.
So I honestly, I'd probably give it a 1, if with taking into account of that. Because remember, these are guidelines, not actual rules.
Yeah, I'm not sure it would be a 1. Well, I mean, a 1 from the modifier, sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the DB would be 5.
Well, my thing is that they've been focusing on that whole border there, and so the whole permanent fortifications as of date when last upgraded, that they're constantly keeping those structures up to date.
Right. Well,
so
they are. That's interesting. So then they keep the guys that engineer regiment busy.
Absolutely. Especially along that southern line against Falsgardus.
So the question then is asked:
How'd they get in?
Well, we're pretty sure, because they could also sneak in along the river there too.
Well, right, but it was the Misery Castle when you found out that the Falsgarians managed to dig a tunnel using stone magic, but dug a tunnel all the way to Misery Castle, which
was 200 or 300 miles. So
yeah, I mean that took them years.
Yeah, so it's been in the works for a while. Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
But
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the tunnels of the Hamas that's under the Gaza Strip. The whole place is hunting.
Oh yeah,
tunnels. So they've been there forever.
But for what Falsgardus did to get up to Misery Castle, was a stroke of brilliance for this point in time.
I don't think they thought it all the way through, though.
No.
Well, they certainly didn't count on us. So.
Well, it wasn't so much they didn't count on y'all. It was, this project had been set in place, a couple of decades ago. So then, you got people that died, you got whatnot. And so now the guy that moves in, he got too big for his britches. He should have stuck with the plan, but he didn't.
He must have been a young leader, because but what you're telling me is that the families of the Falsgardus, the council, they're always playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
20, 30, 40, 100 years in beyond, because I mean they've got a legacy. There's a family there. They've been there forever. Who knows what type of life-extending magics they're using anyhow.
Right.
So, yeah, long game.
But then there's even with the long game, you finally made it there. Woo! Let's go do our thing!
Yeah, and that's what the problem is, those failure leadership at the tactical level.
Yes. And that's how I had planned it, because, I mean, it was the opening campaign arc. It wasn't supposed to be a continuing thing. However, I had expected y'all to do a little bit more with the tunnel.
Well, I wanted to, but, everybody started dropping out, so.
Yeah, it did make that a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
And so I've left it as caved in.
For now.
Doesn't mean that we're not going to be revisiting Misery Castle. But at the same time, because now we know that there's an entrance there, and you've already told the king, that means there's going to be additional forces there watching and protecting that entrance.
Yeah, I think about that too, and then if they start putting troops in that fortress, on that border town, what are the folks in Melharm going to think?
Right.
Yeah, so that's politically risky.
And, well, the problem, Melhorm, and this is why it doesn't become a heavy...
city-states.
Exactly. That's why it doesn't become a heavy political risk, because it's the closest city-state that's going to be going, hey, man, hey, what you doing? Why are you putting all those troops there? And Delphos can go just do the hand wave on going, don't worry about it. And that city says, I'm going to worry about it.
In fact, I think closest
which is really funny, because the closest city-state to Misery Castle is the city-state that Rob's character comes from.
Harzelslack?
I
think that's it. Yeah, because it's up there in the... Yeah.
Let me switch back over to the maps and pull up Melhorm. Give me the map for that.
Yeah, I did.
Now, part of the fun part with the chat getting to see me bouncing through here, they can also see how to work their way through this area. He's actually from Grand Hill.
Okay, so further south. All right.
But his way of cutting through would take him straight by Misery Castle.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those characters that has got the. I hate to phrase it this way. He's got the traditional storyline of being a noble son, and he's tired of putting up with daddy's shit, and so he left.
So he left, yeah.
And instead of
get thrown out. He left, but he got thrown out by Dad.
Well,
that's how it is. I didn't get fired. I quit.
So it all depends on who you ask.
That's right. Exactly. Who's the audience here? Yeah.
Now, one of my favorite towns in Melhorn, though, is Starkhaven. Starkhaven.
Yeah, that's way over there. Yeah.
Yeah, Starkhaven though is. I had a whole campaign that dealt with Starkhaven. And it was interesting the option that the group went with, because this was back in the day of running this with 3.5 rules.
Yeah, I remember this. The good days of 3.5, they were good.
And so the town was just inundated with undead, and they fought off all the undead and everything. But then eventually they wound up in some catacombs underneath the town.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out that the guy that was, quote-unquote, the Baron of Starkhaven, they found out that he was a vampire.
Of course, right?
But
go kill the vampire. Yay.
Well, they didn't, but they didn't kill the vampire. They had
a knee-jerk reaction, that's for sure.
They had gotten lost and wound up underneath Starkhaven, and they found this catacombs, and so this catacombs, they found this ornate sarcophagus. And of course, you got the one person that had the itchy finger going, "I'm going to open it."
Of course, right?
Well,
that's like the first, it's like the second or third rule, like in Zombieland. Just you don't. So don't open the sarcophagus. Every time a DM puts the sarcophagus anywhere,
right? Well, they open it up, and it's an elder vampire.
Yeah, of course.
But it's an elder vampire that you can't not open it. Well, turned out this elder vampire, because D&D, so you run with alignments.
Yeah.
Well, he was actually neutral good.
That's a surprise.
And the guy that was up above, causing all the problems and making a mess out of this guy's town, was his son.
Of course, right?
And so now they woke up Daddy, and then they told Daddy about the mess that's happening upstairs, and he went, "Okay."
Really?
Well, he did the "oh really," but he's also went, "I need something to eat before I go deal with this." And that's when the entire group all put their hands around their throats going, "Not me!"
Yeah, that happens. They got high colors.
But they eventually got him food. Not a person, but they got him food. And then, instead of them having to fight
since they were
this
underground, they went to Subway.
Right. But instead of them having to fight off this mass of undead and everything, they still had to fight a pretty large army of undead. because they basically had to keep the undead away from the area while Daddy went and dealt with his son. And Daddy decided his son was no longer worthy of the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And so Starkhaven is still ruled by a vampire. Because the group went, hey, he might be a vampire. And this was with a cleric. Not just any cleric, because at that point in time, like I said, 3.5 in my world, but I was pulling from everywhere.
Yeah, of course, right.
And so she's playing a cleric of Lathander. The god of the sun, the god who hates undead more than anybody else. And she went, he seems like a good guy. Think we can leave him here. And they left.
I don't know about all that.
And so Starkhaven is still ruled by a vampire.
Okay, so we get back to our world building.
Yep.
As far as on our regional map, is there anything we need to add?
We're on getting back to the regional map.
With Delphos.
That's a great question. All right, let's take a look at the map, because there are things that I thought about that need to be added to it. So.
Okay. Because I was looking at, I didn't have a Hofgard map or a Doria map, so that can come later, because I don't think we're going to go that direction.
Yeah, probably not for a while, or if ever on this campaign at least.
Good. All right.
So, in the Golden Savannah, we need to have a small town, in the middle of the Golden Savannah, because that's rancher land.
Yeah. Okay.
So, hey, Mozzie, what's going on, buddy? There's another person I keep on trying to get to come join my game. But Mozzie has his own tabletop game that he's got on Thursdays usually. Oh, no, wait. I think he said that he could only handle one table.
Okay. So maybe one or two small towns.
Yeah, just small towns. Because otherwise the ranching path, for when they start moving them for profit,
you know what they would do. My thinking, instead of marching east or moving all these animals east to market, they would move them west to the river, load them on barges, and then go.
Yeah, so they'd wind up going to Redwater, and they'd sail along the border, which makes it extra dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there may be an agreement with Kalsar. So.
Yeah. Kalsar is not known for keeping their agreements. Or I should say, Kalsar they don't condone the attacks on the caravans.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, Martian Caterin.
So, that's what I was thinking. They'd probably march some Caterin. Now, granted, because it's faster, and if they're trying to move a specific kind of product, like if they're trying to move calves and whatnot, they'd still go through Redwater. They would just pay the extra money for additional production, because what you deal with there is quote-unquote piracy. Because Kalsar will go, I didn't approve this. And then you're left going, well, where'd you get all the veal from? It was a donation.
Okay. So there's probably going to be a small town on that river between Redwater and Sabora.
Yeah.
And then probably one in the middle of the plains too.
So, when you're asking about stuff to add.
Yeah. All right.
And then you've got the same thing in the Pulpero Expanse. But the Pulpero Expanse is a little different.
See, I'm thinking that's a little more dangerous.
It is. However, a lot of their trade routes go to the Scarwood Citadel, the Acrulan Tower, the Spellbound Spire, and Nolanor, because they're feeding the troops there.
Yeah, that's almost all military traffic through there,
Right.
for the most part.
And they'll still have a couple of small routes that will probably go to Lashni and Jalisau. And they'll probably have some routes, a route that goes to Black Raven. And, and that'd be the entirety of your routes between Black Raven, Jalisau, and Lashni for their northern trade. And then if they're moving anything north, that's how that would go, and then it would travel the established roads. Now, as far as traveling south to the Citadel and the Acrulan Tower and the Spellbound Spire, there is no established paths. It's always changing because of the danger. So it's all about scouts and going, okay, what's our best route to take? And sometimes they'll complain, going, that's going to add an extra 2 weeks to our travel. Going, okay, well, it's going to add an extra 2 weeks to your travel, but it also makes it where you survive.
Okay, well, what I've been thinking, that there's probably going to be another small town south of Bell Hill on that route between there and Scarwood.
Yep.
But it's probably going to be no more than like a little way station. I'm thinking maybe, Delphas has developed a kind of Pony Express messenger system.
Right.
So.
But yeah, inside the Pulpero Expanse, there's not going to be a quote-unquote town.
Yeah, I didn't think so, yeah.
You got a lot of ranches. Yeah, sure. You've got the, because this map, all it's going to show is major roads. Yeah. It's not going to show all the little side roads and everything, because, otherwise the map would wind up nothing but roads.
Yeah, well, we'd have to drill down into specific, even tighter areas, and that's a lot of work. It doesn't really need to be done.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Yeah, anything larger than 2,000 folks, I could probably put on here, and it'll make sense.
And again, a lot of those little spots are going to be, common way stations, and they're probably going to be more in the northern section of the Pulpero Expanse. The first,
because of the green areas there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Thanks, Mozzie. I know you've already got one on Thursdays, but I'd still love to drag you into this one. So, if your game ever wraps up, you have got a permanent open invite to join. Even if we wind up saying, I seriously doubt this is going to happen anytime soon, but even if we wind up saying that we're full up,
we'll make a seat.
You've always got a seat, Mozzie.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I might do one that's does that make sense? Got Eagle Watch, Nolanor. Man, they would have to have gone past all those towns unless they crossed the border.
Hey, now, I got 7 viewers, but I only got 6 likes. What's going on, guys?
That's just probably because I haven't liked it yet.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I don't like anything. No, just kidding. What I'd like. Come on, damn it. Oh. All right, some Black Ravens on the map. Bell Hill. Lashley.
So, like I said, chat, y'all are getting the experience to see a bit of world building, seeing how we work on developing some areas even further, so that when we're running the campaign, when we're talking about things, when we're doing things, we've got a lot more detail to work with, which makes the game much more immersive. You can run with a complete lack of this detail, no problem. But having that additional detail available helps for the immersiveness in the story, and it helps it really helps to draw people more into the story, because they find out going, oh, okay, there's these languages here, there's these different towns here, there's these different regions around me that all have different cultures and everything. And so when they build their character, they can think about the culture that they're coming from. They can bring that with them. At least that's the idea. Now, what's funny enough is that I've told you all the negatives about Calcer to the north. Calcer is also the headquarters of the Knights Mendicant, which are basically... It's very difficult to describe, but imagine it like a Teutonic order minus the religion. They are their rules for being part of their order is like the epitome of the chivalric knight. Cool, Mozzie. Like I said, the seat's always open for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking with Scarwood Citadel.
Yep.
There's a permanent presence there all the time.
Yep.
But I think also maybe Alamir might have some troops there too, as kind of like guests, because they have a vested interest in keeping watch on False Scardus.
They do. And that means they'd be supplying cavalry.
Yeah, exactly. And cavalry can also patrol the border for both.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. Because it's very foresty along Alamir's border with Falscardus to the when it gets to the ocean. However, it's straight up cavalry land in the Pulpera Expanse.
Yep. And if rumors are true, then Alamir has the best cavalry in the known world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got a lot of planes. So
yeah, it's Alamir is supposed to be my guys that can be the horse archers that aren't Mongols.
There were I think they were Polish or Prussian soldiers. They were cavalry, and one of the things they did was, as part of their uniform or their armor, is they had wings on the back.
That was the Prussians.
Prussians, yeah. So I could see something like that with these guys.
Yep. So, and that's more, world building. Even getting into descriptions of uniform and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, sorry, Scott.
Nitty gritty detail.
Yeah. But that's part of being able to make the world feel more alive.
Yeah.
And I don't need to explain that to you, Scott, but I'm explaining that for the benefit of chat.
Yeah.
because coming up with how we're going to be doing things and then what's going on. And you guys are even probably going, yeah, but Scott's a player in your game. He is, but he's also a GM. And Scott is really, really good at separating GM knowledge from player knowledge.
It could say I'm a bit schizophrenic. No, just kidding. Was that fractured personality disorder? I don't know. After all, I play a wizard, not a lizard.
No, that's in the other game.
I play all kinds of stuff in the other game.
Oh man, I'm still loving playing that weasel. I can't believe I can't.
I get yet another snake coming into the group. So weasels and snakes sleeping together.
Yep.
We're all gone mad.
Oh.
Yeah.
But again, I can't believe that Ignacio has survived because there's so many places where he should not have survived.
Yeah, I know. It's a good thing I didn't poke that ant nest.
Yeah, no. Thank goodness my roles worked out to where I went, yeah, how about no?
Mm-hmm. I know there's somebody would go. I mean, if it was another group, probably they'd be, oh, ants, let's go smash them. You know, and sure, get smashed 2 or 3, but eventually word gets back, and then next thing you know, you're being carried into the nest.
Yeah. Well, so I'm thinking about the population of ants.
Uh-huh.
and I'm very much going.
Because all I have to do is just keep dragging them from the sidebar, honestly.
Right. And so I was. So my instant reaction to that was going, how about we don't touch this?
Don't kick over the anthill. Yeah.
I mean, I know you get them there in Texas, but we get, and it's only been recent, but we get fire ants up here now.
Oh yeah.
They've been steadily working their way north.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't some idiots, the story is like way back in like the late 40s, early 50s. A couple shiploads of fruit came from South America, and that's what introduced fire ants to Texas in the South.
Well, it's crazy because I've actually physically watched them migrate north in my lifetime, because when we first moved here to the area that we're in, up in the foothills of North Carolina, there were no fire ants.
Yep.
And then 3-4 years later, all of a sudden I got fire ant hills everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the plus side, because I've got fire ants all over my yard, you know what I don't have? Yellow jackets.
Yellow jackets. Oh no, they come around too. We've got those too. Murder hornets.
Well, no. Apparently, because I got such a tiny yard and everything, the fire ants took out the yellow jackets.
That may be true. Straightened out.
And then I went and spread out the fire ant be gone stuff all over the yard, and then it rained, which is exactly what I wanted to do, because that's how it activates that food. And I had to also be careful with it, because at that point in time I had dogs in the backyard, so I didn't want them eating the poison. But within a week, I had no more fire ants. However, my neighbor.
You got them now.
Right.
You got your ants.
So
not new ants. You got your ants.
So I'm sitting going.
You got used ants.
Right. So I'm sitting going. I thought this was supposed to kill the nest, and I'm sitting going, okay, this obviously didn't kill the nest. It just migrated the nest.
Yeah, that's not your problem now, right?
Right.
No, what really needs to happen with something like that, though, is like all the neighbors that are in like a spot need to treat their lawns at the same time.
Right.
Because otherwise the animals just do the natural thing is move, you adapt or die, which in this case they moved.
Well, but now I can, now that unfortunately, since both my dogs are dead, I get to take care of the other problem I have in my yard. Moles.
Oh, yeah, those are fun. The moles don't eat the fire ants. The fire ants don't eat them. They leave each other.
Yeah.
But you need an aardvark.
So, but that means I get to put the poison peanuts in the ground now to deal with the moles. But I couldn't do it before because even though my old man, he was 18 years old, blind, I mean, blind Jack Russell.
Mm-hmm.
He still paid his rent though.
Yeah.
Because
chasing the moles.
Apparently he'd be laying out in the yard sleeping, and a mole would dig his little tunnel underneath him, and he'd wake up and go, the hell? And he'd dig up the mole and shake it to death, but then he'd leave it in the yard.
Obviously, you didn't give him follow-on instructions to go around back and put it in the trash bin.
Right?
Like, that's not my job. So you're the human, you pick it up.
So, but
So
as opposed to the other dog that, she was fun and playful and whatnot, but, she had zero interest in digging up moles.
not a mole dog, obviously. You just needed another mole dog.
But now I can give the poison peanuts to them to where I know that no dog's going to bite into them and wind up getting poisoned. So, Oh, I see we got a Brad in a voice here.
Oh yeah, there he is.
What's going on, Brad? Oh,
He's very far away.
let me turn you up.
Yeah, turn him up on my end too, I think.
Yeah, I had to turn you up 200%.
I'll turn myself.
All right.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Much better. No. You're still pretty quiet because I've got you still turned up 200%.
How's that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's much better.
Okay, good.
What's going on, Brad?
Oh, not much. Doing the same old. Got a placenta and the food dehydrator I got to encapsulate tonight, but other than that,
What the? Okay.
And that's when we go, I'm not going to ask any questions.
That's kind of what I just did right there. Like, got the placenta and the dehydrator, yeah.
well,
Yeah. Saving that for the winter solstice.
Yeah, well, we'll save that for an off-stream conversation.
Yeah. Have some weird people showing up in our chat.
Grant, now I'm sure my chat's going to be sitting here going, what's he going to be doing with that? And
the quick and dirty is my wife is a midwife, and there is sort of a thing that mothers who've just had a baby will get the placenta encapsulated, and then they will eat it to help replenish some of the hormones that they lost.
yeah, oh, wow.
Yeah, this cannot be. I make no claims as to whether or not this is actually effective or not, but it's a service that people want.
That's
Wow,
you know what? Hey, you know what? Look, we've got game stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, because I like, man, do you put salt and pepper on it or anything? I mean, how do you?
Nope.
A little cheese whiz.
No, you just
Wow.
Steam
I
it.
mean, I know it's a thing in the animal kingdom. I get it, yeah, but
Right, yeah. But no, I steam it, cut it, dehydrate it, and then grind it up and put it in a capsules just like a pill.
Yeah. Say, and Mozzie's already got the. Oh, when Mozzie says, "Oh, I'm kind of hungry now."
So yeah, I'm basically making the world's worst jerky.
we're certainly the strangest, if anything. It may not be bad for some people, but
No, it'd be
but
bad.
they're not tasting it though. They're just dropping the pill.
Right, yeah.
That's
Well-
kind of cheating.
I'll say, Brad, since we got you here, and yeah, I know we're working on world building, but we're also looking for additional players. So,
Yes.
give me, give us questions.
Yeah.
Well, I would start out by saying I'm willing to give it a try.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want there to be any hard feelings if I play 1 or 2 games and then drop out.
Understood.
Okay.
I'm kind of
How we did with another player, but he had hard
Yeah.
feelings. But it's I don't take it personally. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if like, yeah, this is not for me, that's fine. I get it.
and that's what it would be,
But from my perspective as a GM, I'm running a game because I enjoy running games and the interaction between myself and my players. But what's most important to me is player satisfaction. Are you having fun?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're having fun and enjoying the game, then I'm doing my job. And if you're making me happy by interacting with my NPCs and stuff, and you're giving me feedback that's good, yeah, that makes me happy too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my character building style. I usually like to roll with whatever concept you've come up with, and then we do all the rule building part, the stat building part around that concept.
Well,
So-
let's double check on something though.
Mhm.
So, Brad, we actually have a game session every Thursday.
Yeah.
But the game session switches back and forth between each Thursday. So one Thursday is my game, which is the Dungeon Fantasy game. And then the other Thursday is our after the end or post-apocalyptic game where we're playing, mutants, humans, basically whatever you want to build, you build. I've got the mutated weasel, which should have died a long time ago, but apparently he's a survivor.
Yeah, literally.
Well, I would definitely be more into the fantasy probably, so I would start with just that. But
Okay. Well, and that's perfectly acceptable because, I mean, you join the fantasy, and then if you like the crew and you like the storyline, you like the stuff that's going on, maybe catch some of the streams that we do of the post-apocalyptic, and see if that's, in your wheelhouse, But, no, man, I'll be excited to have you.
Yeah, we could use another good role player. That's for sure.
So, instead of asking what class you want to play, because GURPS doesn't have classes per se, although I'm enforcing people to use templates for their characters, and those templates are basically classes.
Yeah.
What kind of character do you have in your head that you feel like you would enjoy? And the options are pretty solid. What I would recommend, and this will be the easiest way to do it, I am going to send you the link to a small piece of software, which is what we actually use for our character creation.
It's streamlined, it's fast, and it interacts.
Yeah. streamlined, fast, and the best part is that when you create your character using this, we can actually import it straight into the game from the character sheet without you having to do anything. So I just shot you a link. And have you tried the Fire Jolly Ranchers in the cotton candy machine yet?
Man, I can't find them. I went to 3 stores yesterday. I could not find any hard cinnamon candy at all. Like no cinnamon discs, no atomic fireballs, nothing.
What the hell? It's Valentine's. How did you not find cinnamon candy?
I'm telling you, dude. Like I went to
Got to go on Amazon.
I went to Big Lots. I went to 2 drugstores and then 1 grocery store.
So story behind this, Scott, just to give some background on this. So, a few streams ago, I was talking about what my kids had asked for Christmas, and I brought that my oldest, what she had asked for was a cotton candy machine.
Oh.
And then Brad felt inspired, and so he went and got the Uber cotton candy machine.
Nice.
I don't know about Uber. It's like,
excuse me.
It's like mid-grade, probably.
Okay.
So not setting up at the carnival just yet.
I mean, the problem is you can only run it for like an hour at a time, and then it needs to stop for 20 minutes. So
That's odd.
Yeah. We went on that problem with my daughter's cotton candy maker as well. Matter of fact, they got to the point at their little Girl Scout meeting that they had where she wanted to make cotton candy for all the scouts in her Girl Scout troop. That the machine actually overheated, and it took my wife like 4 hours to clean the machine.
Oh, good God.
So yeah, I've got a couple gigs booked already, and so I'm thinking about getting a second one, so then I can just kind of alternate back and forth.
Nice. So, and also, I'm putting too much out here, but Scott, I'll tend to throw recipe ideas to Brad. Go, I'm thinking about putting these things together. What else do you think I should throw into this? And he'll go, you should do this. And I'll go, okay, cool. Or now, granted, sometimes he throws at me going, well, you should do this. And I'm going, yeah, that ingredient's outside of my price range.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you had a part-time placenta encapsulating job, you'd be able to afford it.
Oh man, you really had to bring that up again. Jeez.
Especially when we just got finished talking about a cotton candy machine.
Oh, so that's how he's doing it.
Placenta candy for everyone.
That's got to be so. Oh God. I've got a pretty strong stomach, but man, that's just.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I will tell you, it is pretty. The process is not pleasant, but
yeah.
But the money is too good to pass up.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I sent you the link to the GURPS character sheet, and the reason I sent that to you, and I'm going to pull this up. Oh God, Mozzie, really? I'm not even going to say that out loud.
I promise you, Mozzie, it would not be that good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
And Frostbite's no. Just no.
Well, and don't forget the funnel cake batter, too, since you're on a carnival trip there.
Yeah.
Grody.
Oh, man.
Like fried pickles.
So, I'm going to say, Brad, let me know when you pull down the GURPS character sheet, and then I'll walk you through it a little bit on the initial build. And we'll talk about how character creation works.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
And, you and I, we've been friends for a few years now. And for the last few years, I've told you this is my absolute favorite game system to run in.
Yeah, it's surprisingly simple.
And yet it can get really complicated really fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the actual sheet here.
Okay, so when you click on that link, it's going to bring you to, if you still have my stream up, so you'll see this little thing here that says GCS version 5.20.4 released on January 13th. You can click on Windows right here.
Yep.
And it'll pull it down. Now, because it's an MSI file, when you initially try to run it, Windows, Microsoft is going to tell you, this can be dangerous.
It's a bad file.
I can flat tell you there is nothing wrong with this file. So you tell it run anyways. And then it's just gonna you tell it where you want it to go. For me, I stick it on my desktop because it's just easier that way because it's literally one file.
All right, it's got it open.
So once you have it open, then your screen should look something like this. And over next to where it says Master Library, go ahead and click that update to whatever version it says to update to. Matter of fact, I need to update mine.
Yeah.
It only takes it a moment.
Yep, got that.
All right. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, this is where we have all of our folders for all of our stuff from all the different books that have come out in GURPS. What we're working with is in the Dungeon Fantasy. So,
hang on. Is that in a different folder first, though? I've only got 3 folders.
yes, so you'll have one folder that says Master Library.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. And
Dungeon Fantasy?
my GCS just hosted itself.
Dungeon Fantasy, not Dungeon Fantasy RPG.
Correct.
Okay.
So under Dungeon Fantasy, then you have Dungeon Fantasy 1, and then underneath Dungeon Fantasy 1, you have a thing called classes. These are the basic classes available in the game. There are other classes, but this is your basics.
Okay.
So let's say you wanted to play a paladin. Okay, so you go with Holy Warrior. Well, if we're going to go with Holy Warrior, then you go down to Dungeon Fantasy 7, and in Dungeon Fantasy 7, that's where you have your variants on the Cleric and the Holy Warrior, which adjusts your spells and a few other things.
Oh, okay. The love and fertility, Holy Warrior.
So we've got swashbucklers, we got barbarians, we got mentalists, we've got. Actually, hold on, let me double check the mentalist.
I don't think that was on your list.
I guess my first question would be, what's in the party now?
Well, that's a complicated question.
But yet the answer is simple.
We need everything.
We have a wizard.
Okay. What else?
There you go. That's your answer.
Okay, so
I think we have a scoundrel too.
So we've got an archer. We've got ourselves a solid archer. He just wasn't feeling well tonight, so he wasn't able to join us. But yeah, we've got ourselves we've got ourselves a solid archer.
All right. So I mean, honestly, like in D&D, I love playing like fighters or barbarians or something. So I'd
Okay.
probably go that route.
So, my question to you then is, do you want to wear armor or not wear armor?
Probably wear armor.
Okay. So then you should look at the knight. The Knigget. Or the Holy Warrior.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Okay. Then Knigget it is. I don't have any special things for Kniggets, so that makes it really easy for us.
Good. I like simple.
So what you'll do is you'll click on File, say New Character Sheet. Now, just because it says Knight doesn't mean you have to be a knight. This is basically just kind of the solid fighter build.
Yeah, because if they say fighter or something else and some other game company won't, yeah, so they had to come up with their own names.
So after you do new character sheet, then you're gonna double click on the Knigget, and so now your character sheet should be on the left, and the Knigget should be on the right.
Okay, I think so.
If you're looking at my screen, if you're looking at my
The stream.
okay, mine's reversed. Hold on. Let me make this the way that I said to do it, so that it'll look the way that I want it to look, so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. So first things first. You have this little section here called attributes.
Attributes.
We're just going to grab attributes, and we're just going to drag it straight over to the character. And then we're going to click OK on all the things. Oh.
Okay.
Right
now may not be the best time for me to do this.
Okay.
I've had several cocktails tonight.
That's okay. That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe some other time we can actually make my character, and it'll give me a time to think about it. But I'll definitely go with a knight type character.
Yeah, no problem. But we can talk a bit more about the world and whatnot, and
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the crew that you'll be joining, because the crew that you're going to be joining is a mercenary crew.
Okay.
It's about the coins, man.
So instead of going with the typical adventuring stuff, try to do it more as a profession and try to do it more as a
Sword for hire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Or in Rinvoq's case, wizard for hire.
Right.
We specialize in asymmetric warfare.
However, at the same time, they can be told that, hey, there's a problem somewhere, and Rinvoq is the leader of the Ravens, and he can decide on whether or not he's going to take a job that doesn't pay. Or I should say, doesn't pay up front.
The wizard you're talking about?
Yes. That's Scott's character. The other person we have here in voice with us. He's the one that kind of decides on the jobs that are taken and whatnot. However, the facilities are set up for being able to handle downtime, whatnot, let you train a bit more, do whatever we need to. And, hey, and I'm with you, Brad. I had a few beers.
I can't do that yet.
Yeah, well, your stomach's too small for it.
Yeah, no.
One beer and he's full.
Yeah, it ain't that. I ate 2 meatballs today and tried a third and about killed me. Wow. For dinner. 2.
Oh, man.
and like 3 pieces of broccoli, and yeah, I was saying, it was no good.
And I realize it's for the betterment of your health, but man, I just don't know if I could do that.
Well, the thing is I'm just that little bit fills me up. So, just like, I'm full, and that's okay. I mean, I'm down to 243 now from 277, like less than a month ago.
Well, shit, now you weigh less than I do.
Mm-hmm. Man, it is what it is.
Last time I stepped on the scale, I was hitting 260.
Yeah, it's been great. Feeling great. Just it's just been great. So.
Yeah, I've got the opposite. My knees are not happy.
Yeah, well, that was one of the other reasons why I had to lose weight. My knees are starting to die.
My knees are not appreciating my gut. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and we're going to step away from the world building a little bit, Scott, but I want to give you an opportunity to kind of give, from your perspective, the campaign storyline so far. Don't need to go from start to where we are, but give them enough to where this is what his character's walking into.
Okay, well, let's see. I guess like a week or two ago, game time, we received a letter requesting help dealing with an issue in the Carrion Wilderness. And so we're kicking that idea around about what we're going to do that and how to follow up with that.
Before that, can we back up just a little bit?
Sure.
Like, is there like a town that? Because there's like I'm watching you guys doing this world building. There's like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Is there like a town we're based out of, and what's it
Yeah.
called? And...
Yeah. We put together a kind of like a military academy.
Just
at Black Raven.
Yeah, just south of Black Raven.
Yeah, it's mostly just a camp right now. It's not like a full-blown faculty-driven academy, but that's the ultimate goal. And so we've got support for, training, mess hall, you got farms and other stuff to support, help support the folks that are training there. So it's home base. It's pretty centrally located in Belfast too, which is another good thing. It's very geographically centered.
So Belfast is the country?
Yes, the country.
Yes.
And right now, yes.
Oh, I should send you the scabbard link. I'm sorry.
It could help, yeah. What the hell did I do with the other picture?
Okay, so it's kind of just like a big military camp in some woods?
Well, yeah, it's more like it's adjacent to the woods that are near Black Raven. It's just like a small copse of woods that we've been using as, for resources for building the wooden buildings and the palisade and that sort of thing. Eventually, of course, we'll get, once we get the place really up and running, then we'll start putting in the buildings we need for, full-on classrooms and such.
And I guess what is the purpose of this military?
Well, we do the type of missions and jobs that you really can't assign to your standard army unit.
So Black Ops.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Asymmetric warfare.
But what does... who's the enemy, I guess, is the next question.
Actually, pretty much whoever the contract points is at the moment. There are threats. Falskardis, the nation that's borders Belfast on the south, that's a very big threat. We neutralized a incursion early in the story arc. And then we also have Calcer, who I'll say is not an ally, but not a full-on enemy either. And so there's that.
Are we talking like all humans, or is there
Right now it's all humans because Chris hasn't fleshed out what he wants as far as any other races go. So
so as far as we know, in this area, the main conflict is human on human.
Yes.
Generally speaking, I mean there is occasional other creepy crawlies too, but.
All right, I guess I should ask this. For my character, I would be a human then, or are there other options? Or...
You'd be a human.
Okay.
It keeps it simple.
No, it's fine.
So right now, during the course of getting our mission and deciding what we're going to do with that, we had someone that interdicted the information and mission and killed the actual messenger. We figured out that. We chased this guy down, and now we captured him, and we're able to turn him into the Bardic College because he had killed the bard that was sent to bring us the message in the first place. Anyway, so right now we're at a border town in Alamir, and preparing to figure out which way we're going to head back to the Carrion Wilderness, either by river or possibly by horseback across the Golden Savannah and Pulpera Expanse. So
yeah, well, and by river is risky because you either have to go by sea and go all the way along the coast of Falscardus, or you've got to go north, way north, to get to the river. And right now, your route, your best route is basically to go back the way you came.
Yeah, at least
time
that's what he's
wise.
telling us. Anyhow, that's where we're at.
I mean, I know nothing about GURPS. So, okay, my starting character.
You'll have 250 character points to build with, and then you'll get an additional 50 after the build to flesh it out a little bit more. It's a point-based system, so literally after every game session, you'll get character points, and as long as we didn't end the game in the middle of combat, then you can spend your points.
Right. So as far as like the deadliness of the game, is it like if I get shot with an arrow, there's a good chance I'm just dead? Or
well, that's got a lot of variables to it. You know, that falls underneath to what kind of armor are you wearing, what kind of arrow shot you, and you still get all your defensive rolls too. You can dodge out of the way of the arrow. But if you've got 10 hit points and somebody shoots you with an arrow that does impaling damage, and let's say it makes it through your armor and it does 3 points of damage. So 3 points of impaling damage to the torso gets multiplied by 2, so that's a total of 6 hit points of damage. So you're not dead. You ain't happy, but you're not dead.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was just like, trying to like relate it to D&D, where I'm a level 1 wizard with 2 hit points.
But in order for your character to absolutely die, you have to be reduced to negative times 5 your hit points. So if you're a wizard with 10 hit points, which is the standard hit points, then you have to be reduced to negative 50.
Okay. All right.
Now,
fairly safe.
Now on the flip side, when you start hitting those negatives, though, those negatives are cumulative, and so you have to make health rolls and everything that cumulatively get more difficult. So, if you only got 10 hit points and you got no armor, the death is it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Or in our games, not so much death as dismemberment.
Right.
That's happened.
I mean, yeah, I hate to bring up the story again because I know chat's already heard it, but we got people in the chat that haven't heard the story before. So, for Brad's sake, for him to hear, firsthand, granted, you have to include the fact that you chopped off that other guy's leg too. Let's real quick do because it's just such a fun story and it works out so great to explain GURPS. But let's talk about the what happened with Jonas, and I'll let you explain Jonas.
I gotta explain it. You were there.
Well, but I'm gonna get up and have a cigarette.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've been wanting to get up and do some things too. Anyhow, bottom line is there was a fight, and Jonas got critically hit in the leg, and because of the penetration damage, the leg was severed. I mean, it was done. So he falls to the ground. The enemy's still standing up over me, and in typical never will frickin' quit fashion that I played my character, he attempts to do the same thing and manages to do it to the enemy. So they're both on the ground.
Oh, no, didn't just manage to do it. He fucking rolled a critical hit as well, and then when he rolled for his crit, he got ×3 damage as well.
That's right. So right back at you, GM. But anyway, but then I had the wherewithal to roll over and then finish the guy off.
Nice.
But because Jonas was a mage hunter, he had a vow to never use magic at all. Of course, Jonas passed out because, blood loss and everything else. And in the party's infinite wisdom, since they didn't know about his no personal magic use vow, they healed him.
With magic.
With magic, of course. Because, that's what we do, right? Yeah. Anyhow, upon finding upon this revelation when he was awake later, he determined, Jonas determined that he had broken his vow and he was a criminal in the eyes of his organization and went to turn himself in. Again, man of principles.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in the end, of course, he was sentenced to death by hanging, and all the other players are all up in arms. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Well, that's because that's how I wrote the character and how I was playing him. Very stoic, very principled man.
So that's what we look at here, Brad. We want you to play your character how you write your character. What do you believe your character would do? How will your character do this kind of stuff? Mm-hmm. But, for me, when Scott made his decision on what was going to happen with Jonas, I was 100% on board with it. However, I caught
days were over, so.
Yeah, but I caught hell from the party. I mean, I had people message me. I was to be perfectly honest, I was getting a little bit of hate mail because I let his character get sentenced to death, and they're all like, "But we could have saved him." No, you couldn't have. You would have just pissed him off even more.
Well, so that's not that wouldn't have pissed him off. He was condemned at that point. When he got healed by magic, that condemned him.
And
there was nothing else. You can't come back from that, at least in his eyes.
And sadly, our player base at that point in time just could not wrap their head around the fact that he was playing his character.
Yeah.
And so it created it created some dissension, not within the party but within the player base.
Yeah, there was a little schism there. Yeah, but yeah, I got an Oscar for that role.
He did. It was awesome. And oh man, it was amazing. I thought it was one of the best scenes we'd ever done because he played his character to the T. He didn't do the cop out of going, well, I guess it'll be okay this time.
Right.
You know. No, he went, no, y'all fucking used magic on me.
I need to excuse myself for one moment.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
I mean, it is going to forever stay as one of my favorite scenes in any of the campaigns I've ever ran because you play your character to the T, and because it pissed off the entire party, not the party but the player base, because it pissed them off so much, it made me go, oh, that means we did this right. Not that my goal is to piss off the player base, but because they had that, because they
should have. The thing is, what bugs me is they just didn't understand that's
right
that character. The thing is, I'm not trying to win the game. I'm trying to enjoy the game, and honestly, I think that playing that character the way I played him.
Oh God!
Life.
And then you brought in that damn barbarian after him, and damn near damn near broke my game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh
yeah. His character he brought in after that, he damn near broke my game.
She was the triple B. The big barbarian bimbo.
The damage that he did. And I'm sitting here just going, okay, how do I throw something at them that's going to be challenging for him, but isn't going to wipe the rest of the party?
Yeah, that was the fun part.
And
another question I have. Is there like a acceptable humor level, or like what's the?
Yes. So
don't get too nasty.
No problem with getting raunchy. The thing is that because the game is streamed, the request is watch language.
Yeah.
You can like. You can throw in innuendos all day long.
And double entendres.
Yeah. You can do that all day long. But
I guess it's more of like how serious is it, like
it has its seriousness and it has its playfulness.
Okay.
So I try to balance it. I try to have where we have those really serious moments. But I try to balance it with some fun, entertaining moments.
So general joking around is okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Astrid the Barbarian right there.
Now, the other big thing that we have to watch out for, and especially since I hate to have to bring this up, but we're going to bring it up. Mm-hmm. When another player is in a scene that you are not present for.
Because that was a point.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, obviously.
Now, granted, on the flip side, there's nothing wrong with you throwing in suggestions to that player going, especially if they're trying to debate on what they want to do. you as a player, you can throw ideas to them without it being your character. Just don't try to interject your character into a scene that they have no purpose in being in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the problems we were running into one of our players. That's why he's gone now.
So, but I've already played games with Brad, and I mean, honestly, one of my favorite games I played with Brad, our good buddy Keith ran, and we had 5 characters each.
I was trying to think, when did I play with you? But yeah, we did that DCC gauntlet.
We did.
Yeah.
And you survived, you dick.
Yeah, my weakest character. I was trying to kill him, and he had plot armor.
Yeah, I lost all 5 of my characters.
Yeah, my dude had 1 hit point, and like charged into every fight.
Yeah, but we all only had 1 hit point. But it was just, and that was a lot of fun. But we got to do some interaction with each other and whatnot. Nothing like playing a bunch of 1 hit point villagers with a town getting invaded by undead.
No, I think not everybody had 1 hit point. I think it was 1 to 4, but
yeah, but in general.
But my guy's stats were wretched too.
So, but the end of the storyline was supposed to be that whoever survived became a level 1 character.
Yeah.
Because we all played level 0 characters. And it was a lot of fun. And
that's a good gauntlet. Yeah.
And we got to I got to do some interactions with Brad and whatnot. And and like I said, we've had lots of I've known Brad for a long time, so.
Oh man, we had some weirdos playing that night too.
Oh, we did.
That guy that kept trying to like set the carpet on fire and ram people with it or something. I forget I don't know where he came from.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things. Is you had you and me, and then we had everybody else was a rando that Keith had found.
My friend John.
Oh,
in my current group. He was there.
So, but no, man, I really look forward to having you join us. So, give us more questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really prepared for this, but I guess I don't know anything about the system. I know very little about the world, so it's just going to kind of be a learning experience.
So the world, I think that the best way to learn the world is going to be by interacting with it, rather than me trying to give you this whole background and everything.
No, you can't do that. It won't stick if you do.
We also have Scabbard so you can look over too. So there's that.
So yeah, I sent you the link to Scabbard for the campaign. That has a lot of information in it. It's also where we keep details of our characters. I actually use it for storyline because when you create your character on Scabbard, then you can create your siblings, parents, all these different connections that go to your character, and I can take advantage of those as a GM and create a small storyline out of it. I have my larger storyline, but it's nice to have details for the different characters so that I can also, bring in your personal storyline and have that be part of the campaign.
So actually, I backed this Kickstarter a while back. It's from Nord Games, and it's called like the Oracle Character Generator.
I saw that.
I just got it last week, and barely even looked at it, but I thought I might use that to.
Sure.
It's for like making a background for your character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Whatever you want to do.
that works out. That'll work out great for this kind of campaign because with GURPS we can literally run with whatever you got.
Yeah, but it's like there's like 5 different decks that each have sort of a different.
Well, since you've got them,
thing.
do you have them in front of you?
I can grab them. I'll be right back.
Figure since he's bringing them up, we may as well use them and see what he gets. Oh, thank you, chat, so much for the 8 likes. I mean, yeah, I realize my tabletop stuff is doesn't grab quite as big of an audience, but I tell you what, 8 likes on a tabletop stream, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I can get this box open.
Brad's got to figure out how to open a box.
Ruh-roh.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of an involved process here. Hang on.
That's okay.
There's 5 decks, and each one has like 5 different things.
That's fine.
I'm going to throw another thing in there for you to look at, Chris. This is a GURPS, medieval professions GURPS equivalent list.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to find that again. So thank you.
Yeah. Got that. Also threw the 100 reasons PCs are together. There's something for everybody.
Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll use some of that,
I really.
because I think about some of our bigger towns like Jalisal, Cataran, Blackley Hold, even Lashney. We're going to have, well, what I'm thinking about is the economy of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that Lashney is providing? What is it that Jalisal is providing? What is it that Catter is providing? Black Raven's actually an easy one, and is impressive that it stayed as small as it has, because it's your crossroads.
Yeah. Yeah, you might find this one useful too, Chris. A lot of random tables, but it's useful.
Okay.
But Cataran is really your big trade center.
Yeah, because it's right there in the valley that leads up to the other 2 big cities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of how I looked at it too. It's like I looked at the terrain and what made sense. And Black Raven, yeah, it's in the middle of the country, but somehow managed to stay small because, well, nobody really wants to live that close to. Well, because the forest that's right above it's kind of swampy.
Well, and then you got the Pulpero Expanse to the south of it, which is where, things are a bit hairy.
Oh, yeah.
However, Black Raven is probably getting some deliveries from the Pulpero Expanse.
Oh, yeah, of course. It only makes sense.
And then Black Raven is taking the livestock deliveries that it's getting and is disseminating that out through Jalisal, Lashney, Bell Hill, and Sabora. Now, as far as
it probably would stand to grow more because, I mean, if like say for example, the Castellian from Blackley Hull comes down there and they're buying cattle, then obviously this is going to be, they have a place that's going to have a cattle auction, because that's where everybody will go and buy cattle. If it's
right. But Blackley Hold the Castellan from Blackley Hold is going to Caterin because they're taking advantage of the cattle and everything they're getting from Golden Savannah.
Yeah, exactly. So it just depends on what you're looking for, because you're going to get a lot more wild game out of the Pulpire of them anyway.
Yeah.
Or exotic meats and such.
I'm ready if you guys are.
Nothing like having some of that demonic deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one with the horn in the middle. Got 3? What the hell? Yes, it's the fork-horned antelope.
So, all right. So you get your cards ready. Let's see what you get. Let's start with the first one and just tell me what you get.
Okay, so here's how it works. There's essentially 5 different decks. Each one has like 12 cards.
Uh-huh.
And each of those cards has like a topic, and then there are 4 different sort of options on each one.
All right.
So I'm just going to go totally random and see what we get.
All right.
Start with the first one.
So the first one is the motivation.
Now, are you writing this down, or should we?
No, I'm writing it down.
Okay. Look, do I need to take notes for this? Will there be a test?
Okay, so the main topic of my motivation is greater good. And it says, there is no goal more utilitarian than the greater good. This individual might occasionally make dangerous compromises in their actions, but they always aim to spread happiness.
Okay.
And then now I roll a d4. I get a 3. And it says, patriotic. This individual supports their country above all else and wants to spread happiness, wealth, or other good things in their home.
Okay. All right. Well, that's already given me some thoughts on where that's going to land. All right.
Sounds like he might be a cadet at the academy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Writing that down now. Okay. And then, there's no particular order, I don't think, but second we'll do personality.
He has no personality. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That I was talking about myself.
Yeah. He has the personality of a toaster.
All right. Guilt-ridden. There's something in this individual's past that causes them to feel guilt. It could be something as small as a slight or as monumental as murder. They have not yet resolved it. Before
That would give you a reason to join the mercenary group. Okay.
I got a 2, which is ashamed. With a hanging head and sullen expression, this individual hates to admit to the wrongdoing and wishes the memory of it would fade.
Go to war or go to jail.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think that may have happened.
So I mean that already. I mean, we still got what 2, 3 more cards to go through, but
3 more.
we've already got the reason for him to join the mercenary group. All right.
All right. Next is roll. And we got... yeah, I think I'm going to redraw that one.
I don't like that.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, these are like character classes, so I'm just going to pick like a fighter one. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one I got was like wizard.
No, that's all me, unfortunately.
All right. Fighter. This individual is a skilled combatant, a master with a blade, a supreme crossbow sharpshooter, a glaive-wielding sentinel, or some other trained and tested warrior capable of tackling the most dangerous foes.
All right, so I'm assuming that roll is going to determine whether or not you're melee or ranged.
Battle Master. Using tactical maneuvers, this fighter is unmatched in the field of battle. They can trip foes, inspire allies, deflect blows, and weather assault.
Okay, awesome.
So is he sword and board, or just a
Oh,
two-handed guy?
No. There's still more to go with that because but I can as far as the GURPS stuff goes.
Yeah, he's definitely a tactician. That'll be handy.
Oh, not just tactician. He's going to have a little bit of martial arts in his background. All right.
All right. Next we have intrigue.
Oh.
Ooh, wanted. This individual has done something that makes them wanted, so that ties in also. They may have committed a crime or other transgression that follows them.
Boy, so maybe he changed his name and joined the academy.
Well, I think we've almost got the 50 points of disadvantages already covered.
This is true. Quick work of that problem.
So for my role on that, I got wanted by clergy/cultist.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
This individual transgressed against the deity and is hunted by their clergy or cult who seek their repentance.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. I'll take advantage of that. That will be awesome.
Not the lizard cult from the Korean wilderness. I just made that up.
And then what's our fifth one?
Hang on, still writing. Okay. And lastly, the flaw.
Well, you already got flaws.
These are really cool. Oh, great. Absent-minded. Rather inattentive in their attitude toward almost everything.
Wow.
This forgetful individual often loses concentration on the task at hand or finds other things to distract themselves.
That is also that's easily done with GURPS because that's actually a disadvantage. So
I got a daydreamer. Rather than focusing on the present, this individual gets lost in their thoughts, causing them to neglect the task at hand.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's oh man, all those put together that makes for such a fun character concept. But in my mind, this is like a young cadet that's probably like around 19, maybe 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you done fucked up.
Language.
Oopsie.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so it sounds like family's hiding him in the military.
You know, Scott, as long as we can keep, as long as if Brad feels like he really enjoys the game session, as we bring in new people, I might have him pull cards for them too.
Maybe, if they're up for it. Yeah, I've got a couple of charts that do the same thing.
What was that? What was that Kickstarter you said it was?
It's called the Oracle Character Generator.
Oracle Character Generator.
Oracle.
Shoot me a link to that because
Nord Games.
Yeah, I really like that, and I may want to get my own copy of those.
Yeah, it's cool. So there are 5 different decks. That one was the heroes and champions, but there's one for villains. There's one for NPCs. There's one for.
Yeah, it looks like I got it on Drive Through RPG.
Oh, they're on Drive Through RPG. Okay, cool.
I think so. Yeah.
But no, that was cool, and we've already gotten so much flesh on your character already just with those cards. So now within the GURPS build. Now we just take that information you've already got, and we just grab the things that fit what you've got.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's nothing there that I would want to change really. So.
Yeah, no. I think that makes for a fun character with a fun storyline. Yeah, we can absolutely run with that.
So I'm guessing, the guilt-ridden, he did something obviously against this clergy or cult that he feels bad about.
Well,
and he's trying to atone for it in his own way.
But and it leaves it vague enough to where we can look at the map and go, all right, well, this is.
He could be local.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to be local.
I would think he would be, I don't know, trying to distance himself from wherever this cult is, and like trying to start a new life as a mercenary. But
Well, but that's the thing is that distinguishing yourself. What I'm thinking is because there's a disadvantage you can take in GURPS where you have false identity, and so you're gonna show up to the mercenaries and give them a different name than what the cult knows you as.
yeah, definitely. Like a
So-
belly in hiding.
Yeah. So you're local, and
You could, yeah, I mean, noble family or something like that's trying to hide him in the military, that kind of thing. It's possible.
yeah,
That's where the embarrassment comes from because he, embarrassed the family. So like, well, let's go take care of him, get it. But I don't know. And he got the assignment to be over here at the academy.
yeah.
That's a possibility.
Well, I would say with everything he had laid out there, it was like so. In GURPS, you're allowed disadvantages and quirks. So you get 5 points in quirks. Each quirk is worth 1 point. And then you got disadvantages that their point value varies. With everything that you pulled out there, we've got the 50 points covered. Because you have an enemy and it's clergy. That's like a 20-point disadvantage right there.
Cool.
And then you had a few other personality traits in there that also would add to those disadvantages. The insecurity and whatnot. That all is all stuff that we can throw on the character sheet, which gives you extra points to help build your character. I think this is going to be an awesome character.
And it was that easy.
Yeah. Well, and your character is obviously running on a story of redemption.
Yeah.
And I'm almost thinking that, and you tell me if you're okay with this, Brad. I'm thinking accused of a crime that you didn't commit.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Although there's guilt-ridden and ashamed, so maybe like got drunk and did something stupid, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's possible too.
Something I have actually done myself.
Well, because I'm looking at the potential of you being from a lower noble family, and you did something stupid, and your man, the guy that is supposed to be always with you, he's the one that got blamed for it, and boy, he got executed.
Yeah, but if he got blamed for it, I wouldn't still be wanted.
Oh, good point.
Or it could be maybe we both did something stupid and they caught his ass, but they didn't catch me.
Maybe he went against the typical noble's man, because like I said, a lower noble family. And that guy went, I didn't do that. That was that asshole over there.
Well, there is that, but there is also because of the character status that he got to get the free ride, and the other guy paid the piper.
No, I think I sold my friend out, and that's why I'm guilty.
There you go.
Okay.
That sounds like some dynasty shit there. Yeah.
Yeah. He was my friend. We got caught up in something stupid. I ended up selling him out. And then maybe the clergy were still not happy with me getting off scot-free, so they're still seeking
their own justice. Yeah.
Well, what if whatever it was that happened? Just thought. What if whatever it was that happened didn't get your friend killed, but got him in prison for life?
Sure, yeah.
That would definitely leave a path for redemption.
That's where I was going with that, because he's got that whole redemption path on the cards he pulled and everything. So
yeah. And maybe my friend was completely innocent.
Right.
But he was like the last, they saw, me and him at the tavern together, and I ended up blaming it on him, and he got incarcerated or whatever.
So, all right, well, chat, y'all guys got to see a little bit of quick character building there as well. And when building a character, this kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff to think about. And I know he pulled it from his cards, which made it really easy and quick to go, all right, we got this, and this. But, when you're building a character for a role-playing game, you want to think about these things. You want to have some depth to that character. Just saying, I'm a soldier from X place. Yeah, sure, that's acceptable. You can build a character that way. But then the character winds up being flat. It doesn't have any goals. It doesn't have anything that it's trying to accomplish. And having a character that has already things that it's wanting to accomplish, and this is why it's joining this group. It's joining this group to go and clear its name, in Brad's case. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And yeah, I can take this and I can do it over tomorrow when I'm a little more sober.
Right.
And actually build like a legit background. But
well, I look forward to having you join us, Brad. Now, Grant, I do want to bring up. So the next game session typically would be the 29th. However, I am not going to be present for that. So our next game session for the Dungeon Fantasy will be, the 14th, the 14th of March.
Yeah, it's a long time from now.
Okay, well, I got plenty of time, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I have to be in Portland the week of the 29th. So, and the 7th would be when he would run his post-apocalyptic, if I was around. So obviously that game's probably going to get canceled as well. So the next game session will be the 14th with Dungeon Fantasy. Double checking here. No, I'm wrong, chat. We will have one more game session of post-apocalyptic on the 22nd.
Yeah. If we get players.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got somebody that's wanting to build a snake.
Well, he thought I guess he said he was going to pop in a chat, but he never showed. So
true, but I mean, he may have had something that came up. Who knows?
Who
knows? I'd like to see people that show up, on time and are able to stick around for the entire session. I mean, because the session's only 3 hours, and a typical tabletop session is 4 hours. So we're even running a shorter session than what's the typical.
Yeah.
And of course, Brad, as you already know, I stream the session.
Yeah. Okay.
But hey, chat, I am going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. I'm gonna hang out and chat with Brad and SavageGM still, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. So you guys have a great night. Thank you for everybody that's come by. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I got 8 people watching right now. Oh man, now I feel bad about closing up the stream.
That's funny.
Um,
I'm getting kind of tired though.
but yeah, we're less than 15 minutes away from where we would normally wrap up. So, guys, y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for everybody that showed up, and thank you so much for the 9 likes. And yeah, looking forward to what we're going to see in the future. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye bye.